Alrighty guys, welcome back to Balake's Fish Room. So today I wanted to just go through kind of where the fish room is up to. So this is going to be my February 2022 video update of the entire fish room and all the tanks that I've got going right now. So I'm going to cover off, and I think it's really important that when people are doing videos like this that you don't just hide the bad things that are happening. You've got to cover the bad things and the good. And today that's what I'm going to do. So over the last couple of weeks we've been waiting and setting up the rest of the racks for the new fish tanks to arrive, which have arrived. So the fish room isn't completed yet. There's still things that I'm waiting to arrive in the mail, and a few things that I've still got to do to get this fish room fully finished. But the really good thing is that all the tanks are now in place. So I guess we'll just jump straight into this tank. So a few really good things that have happened with this tank is we've been able to complete the sump filter. Well, not fully complete, but we've been able to set up the bulkheads, and so the water overflows out the top there, which I still need to finish, and is pumped back in over this side. You can see that outlet just back there. So the really good thing is, yeah, we've made a lot of progress on this tank, but unfortunately the bad thing is, and I'll see if I can find one that's got a bit of a bad case of it right now. Let's focus up here, see if we got one. It might have all healed. Okay, this guy, you can see on the top of him, he's got a little bit of white markings. So I thought that was just a little bit of damaged fins that we're healing. But what I've noticed over the last couple of days, and it has actually started to heal up on a lot of them, is there are these little white bumps that are popping up on the marbled fenestratus. This one's got it pretty bad still. You can see these little white bumps. So these guys, this tank is infected with white spot disease. So it's a bit of a shame, but it is really easy to treat. Just bump up the temperature up to about 30 degrees Celsius, and I'm treating it just with some sea salt. And since doing that, you know, a lot of the fish are getting a lot better. See this guy, Rowie, come on, let's focus in. This guy here's got a pretty bad case of it still. But you know, the red terrors that we can see here, they haven't got any sign of white spot. So it seems to only be affecting the marbled fenestratus. But this guy is a new addition since the last video, and I made a mistake that you know, we've all been guilty of, is just I popped him straight in this tank because I didn't really have anywhere to put him for now. So I'm assuming that the white spot came from here. It might have come from just the fish being stressed, because it's a naturally occurring disease or bacteria that tends to bloom when fish are under a bit of stress. So could have come from pretty much anywhere. I'm not sure where it's come from, but I've done my best to isolate it to just this tank, and so far the fish don't seem bothered by it. They're not really doing the scratching themselves on the gravel or anything anymore, which they were doing for a little while. So I'm expecting this all clear up over the next week or so, and hopefully we don't lose any fish. So that's about it for the marbled fenestratus tank. Not much of a change. It's kind of a dumping tank right now because, you know, the aggression's really dispersed because there's so many fish in here. So yeah, I guess that's all that I really want to say on this one. So we might pop over to the next 6-foot tank. So this tank that we can see here, this is actually my favorite tank right now, and it's really where I want to be with all of my aquariums. So over here we've got the male and the female Patania splendida, or the red-based snook. So these guys, I don't know if you can see down here, we've got the female, and her spawning tube is out, and she is absolutely swollen with eggs. So I'm expecting a spawn out of these guys within probably the next day or two. This guy gets really aggressive towards me when they're about to spawn. So you know, I put my hand up to the glass and he's just trying to kill me. But this is the dream. This is where I wanted to be with all of my tanks, just having a nice big 6-foot tank with a breeding pair of fish in there. Come on, mate, take it easy. He does get pretty aggressive towards her and she doesn't really fight back, so we might have to keep a really close eye on them. Oh, yes, very aggressive. But like I was saying, this is where I want to be with all my tanks. If I need to divide them, I'll just put a divider in there. But yeah, really, really good. There's not much else to tell. The water's a bit cloudy because I only put the sand in there, I think 2 days ago. So, you know, there's still a whole lot to do with this tank. We need to finish off the sump filter in the back there. We need to get the water, be able to fill up properly. But I just want to do a kind of a prototype of the sump to, you know, to test it and see exactly what I wanted to do, which I've done over on the big 6-foot tank there. So there's nothing down in the bottom tank over there right now. And in this tank, I'll see if I can get a couple of shots later, but I do have some brand new fish, which I was really, really happy to get. There's about 2 or 3 species of fish that I wanted to get my hands on, and I managed to get one of them. So, and they're going to be able to live their whole entire lives in the 4-foot tank. So they don't grow massive, but I'll see if I can get some nice shots of them and explain them later in this video, or maybe that's for a future one. So we might swing around now to the 6-foot tank that is opposite these guys. So as you can see, like, we've got these airline tubings. So they're doing the sponge filters. They're on the tanks behind me that you just saw. And up here we've got the air pump. So we haven't been able to finish off the air loop system in the top of the roof. We're still waiting on parts to come from China, because they're just not available anywhere. But this tank is for the Festae, or the Red Terrors. So this guy is extremely afraid of showing his face, so he tends to just live in this little pot here, this little terracotta pipe. So this is the male Festae. He's probably about 7 or 8 inches. He's starting to show a lot of characteristics and showing, you know, signs of being a mature fish. And then just behind this rock, see if I can get in there a little bit closer. No. We've got the female Festae. So they've been in this tank for all but 2 days. So I'm not really expecting them to be swimming around and all acting all normally just yet. But you know, we'll wait and see. We'll see how they go. But that's going to be to come in a future video as well. Down here, we've got a spare 4-foot tank, so we haven't got anything in there as well. So we've got a couple of those right now. And then finally, if we just come across to this tank, so this is the black Nasties. So over the last 3 weeks, the black Nasties really have been testing my patience, because I've been really worried about them. I wasn't sure if they were sick, if they were way too stressed and they were going to start bloating on me and everything like that. But over the past couple of days, they've started to show a bit more confidence. The male has been coming out and kind of asserting his dominance in the tank. The females, I'll see if we can find one. Yep, so here's one of the females that we've got here. So if she didn't swim away like that. But they're starting to be a lot more confident in the aquarium as well. We can see the head of another one poking out of this pipe. So everyone's kind of settling down and you know, getting used to their new aquariums, which is really nice. And then down the bottom here, like you can see, like I haven't got the lighting done either. We're waiting for the light bulbs to arrive now, which I thought they would be one of the first things to get here, but they haven't arrived. So we're still doing the 4-foot strip lights that are at the top here. They're doing all the 6-foot tanks, and the bottom tanks don't have any lighting right now. They're all just run on the air pumps with the sponge filters. So there's still a whole bunch to do before I do the full reveal of the fish room. So down here, we've got the spare 3 black Nasties. So I did lose one of the black Nasties, but it was because it was a subdominant male that was down here, and it was just getting picked on heaps, and it just died. which was a bit of a shame, but that's okay as long as we don't lose, touch wood, where are we? Touch wood. As long as we don't lose some of the other nasties, I think we're going to be good. So it's a little bit hard to do a really detailed video out here, so I'm not really going into too much detail with all the fish, but it's coming along. All the tanks are in the right spot. It's starting to look exactly what I was pitching it to be. So I'll stand back here a little bit so you can see the view. So, hey buddy. So we've got the 4 6-foot tanks that are back here. All the cabinets painted nice and white. It's got a really nice, clean, fresh look to it. With the 4-foot tanks fitting absolutely perfectly underneath the 6-foot tanks. And yeah, it's just coming along really well. And I wanted to have fry tanks back there, but I really like having just a nice blank wall. I say that now, I'm probably going to fill it up with fish tanks or storage or something like that. But for now, I'm kind of liking the blank wall and the open floor plan look to the fish room right now. So it's coming along, guys. Like I said, the next things that are going to happen, we're going to have the 4-foot, the lights that are going to be hanging down, which I still need to make. The lights are going to hang down on top of the tanks to light the top ones. The strip lights that we've got up there, so the 4-foot lights, they're going to come and sit just under, where are we? They're going to sit in a little bracket that's going to sit underneath there, so they're going to shine the light on these tanks. We've got to finish off the sump filters. We've got to finish off the air line that's going in the top of the roof here as well. So I guess we've made a lot of progress. We've built 4 cabinets. We've got all the fish tanks into place, and all the fish are essentially in their forever homes, which is the biggest achievement that I wanted to get through, at least in the first instance. So there's not much else to update in here. So I might just head up to the Argenteus tank, which I haven't done much maintenance on. Been so busy with these tanks. And that's what I wanted to do today. I wanted to show a video of, where I currently am right now. It's just a February update. It's not the most exciting update that there's going to be by far. And there are a few issues that I'm trying to work through, but yeah, you can see kind of where we're up to. And then hopefully in the next video, or the next in the March update, the fish room is going to be 100% completed exactly how I want it to be, and hopefully the fish are absolutely thriving and they're not sooking in their little caves. So anyway guys, let's head up to the Argenteus tank to finish off this video. Alright, before we go over to the Argenteus tank, I wanted to just show you something that I'm really quite proud of. These are the first batch of fish that I have bred, and that I have actually started raising up myself. So these guys are probably about 3 weeks old now. So they are the Patania splendida, or the red-based snooks. So in this little tank, there's probably close to 150 fry that I pulled out and put in here. It's only run on a sponge filter. This, don't worry guys, this filter here, it's not turned on. It's just in there for bacteria growth and all that kind of stuff. So don't worry, it's not shredding the fish, it's not pulling them in or anything and killing them. But I just didn't want to bother to take that one out. So these guys are doing great. I'm not feeding them baby brine just yet. I might do that for later grow outs and everything, because I just have so much going on right now, not just with the fish room, but in my kind of personal life as well. So the fish haven't taken a back burner, but there are other things that I need to focus on. So if this worked, it worked. If it didn't, it didn't. I'd do it again. And you can see that the red-based snooks are about to go again. So I just grab a coffee cup like this, coffee cup like that. I fill it up with a little bit of water, and then in goes some of this grow food. I mix that up, I pour that in the tank, and Bob's your uncle. The fish are fed. So I do that 2 to 3 times a day. and water changes every 4 days kind of thing with these guys. So I think they're growing well. They're 3 weeks old, like I said. So anyway, not much else to say on these guys, but I'm really happy we've got some baby fish, and that's the main goal. So let's head over to the Argenteus to finish this one off. All right, so this is the female Argenteus. So she rarely leaves her little corner. She's really well protected by this big mangrove root that we've got here, and she basically lives inside the terracotta pipe that we've got there. So she does really well. She's quite shy compared to the rest of the fish, and the fish that she fights with the most is actually the male convict, which I think is pretty hilarious to watch, because the convict is about, you know, 1/6 of her size, and yeah, they're fighting all the time. But the rest of the tank is just dominated by this big guy. He eats first. He is the fish that always eats first. He eats heaps and heaps of food. But the other cool things that have happened in this tank is the blue eyes have started to come to sexual maturity. So they're starting to show signs of spawning. I think I might have had a spawn actually. So we've got I think that's the dominant male that we've got there. And then the female that he's chosen is here. So these guys are probably going to end up out in the fish room as well, in one of those 4-foot tanks down the bottom. But I've basically just dumped all the spare ornaments and everything like that. I've got this really cool hollowed out log in here, which is probably going to move out to the fish room to one of the other tanks. And yeah, so there's not a whole lot. Oh yeah, here they go. I love the look of the blue eyes when they start to fight and start to show signs of dominance over each other. It's really, really cool. So that's a big convict that I was telling you about. This tank is probably getting overstocked now. The blue eyes, the convicts, the Argenteus, they're getting bigger. They're all eating a lot more food, and they're adding to the waste in the tank. So there's probably not much longer until I've got to, you know, overhaul this tank and get a few of the blue eyes out. Maybe it'll end up just being Argenteus and convicts in here, and I think I'll end up having to get the clown loaches out as well. The other cool thing about this tank is there's a pair of peppermint bristlenose in here which have spawned. I've seen baby of the peppermint bristlenose swimming around in the tank, which is really, really cool. Oh, here she comes. Here she comes. She's showing her face. Come on. There we go. She looks absolutely stunning when she gets worked up. She gets these black bars all over her body, and those fins, like she's doing right now, they just come out and are really, really impressive. This is actually quite rare. She usually doesn't come out when I'm close to the tank. So even the fact that I've got the camera up here, maybe she just likes the camera. Maybe she's just showing off for the camera. But see, once they come out, they do a little bit of the shimming, flicking the fins, and but the really cool thing about that is that there's no real signs of too much aggression towards each other. I think that they're really just slowly bonding and developing that pair bonding between the male and the female Argenteus. So yeah, guys, look, I'm just you know, keeping you updated on where everything's at while I'm still trying to get these renovations all completed. And I guess part 2 is probably going to be more of a part 2 of the fish room renovation is probably going to be more of a reveal rather than a step-by-step of what I've been doing, so that you guys can kind of see where I'm up to, and yeah, and then we can start to follow along the journey and just keep doing fish updates and everything like that. So I'm trying to post every week. It has been, like I said, pretty crazy with building and doing all that stuff. I'm by no means a professional photographer, so trying to film things and build things and do everything all at the same time is a little bit of a challenge. But in saying that, it is a lot of fun, and who knows what's going to happen in the future. But yeah, I reckon give me 2 weeks from now, we're going to have a full fish room absolutely completed, and hopefully by the March update I'll be able to show you guys exactly what my vision was to finish off this fish room. But anyway guys, thank you for sticking through till the end of this video. I know that I tend to babble on a bit about these fish, but that's what, when I'm watching videos, I know that Andy Woods, for example, he just waffles on like he says, and I absolutely love it. He always apologizes for waffling on and everything, but that's what I like watching, so that's what I'm going to put out, and hopefully you guys enjoy it too. So anyway, thank you for watching and stopping by at Balake's Fish Room. If you wouldn't mind subscribing to the channel, I'd really appreciate it. Try and get the word out about these fish and everything. There are a lot of changes to come, and a lot of cool fish to see. So thanks guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one.